Hi everybody, I am back with another video. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Natalie and this is As the Pennies Drop. Now, As the Pennies Drop is a channel dedicated to creating a life you love, deserve and desire. I am a conscious manifestation coach and I do offer a variety of one-on-one coaching solutions to help you and guide you to create that dream life, release those limiting beliefs, those blocks, and to create a self-concept that you love. So if you are interested in finding out more about one-on-one coaching, then click the link below. So today's video is all about inspired action, what it is and when to do it. Now, I'm going to share with you about inspired action based on my own beliefs. Now, I believe that inspired action can give you two completely different results. But before I go into that, I'm just going to talk to you about what does it actually mean to be inspired? What does inspired mean? So inspired is an external impulse when we just feel like, oh my God, we've got to do that, or we've really got to have that thing right now. And we feel like we've got to take that action, whether it's speaking to somebody or whether it's physically doing something. So it's an external impulse and you feel it inside. You just feel it inside, like, I've got to do that. It's got to be done now. It's based on a feeling that is the impulse that then creates the action. Like I said, whether it's doing something physical or whether it's talking to somebody. Now, when our mental diet is still needing some tweaks, shall we say, still needing some tweaks. So if you're still feeling anxious or a little bit fearful, or you're feeling you might be rejected if you text somebody, for example, or you're feeling hurt, or you're feeling in pain, or you're feeling a lack, that fearful kind of lack of not having what you want. And if you are taking action when you feel like that, so you may get an impulse to like, I'm just going to do it. I just don't care. I'm just going to do it. If you're feeling any of those emotions that I've just expressed, the inspired action may not go your way. So that kind of links into your mental diet as well. So if your mental diet still needs some tweaks, if you feel like you're in an anxious state or feeling a bit stressed or fearful, the inspired action may not go quite your way. But never fear, because when we, for example, text somebody and we're having these particular emotions, we could get ignored. We might not get that message back that we've been intending or affirming. Now, if that happens, or if you've done this, and that's why you're watching this video, or if you're about to do this and you're worried you're going to get that message, then, you know, we are everyone as you pushed out. So what you think, you attract. So, well, one, my advice is probably don't do it. But two, you could do it. If you really feel like you want to do it, then take the inspired action, even if you've got these emotions, and see what comes back to you. So you may not hear from them. So I'm just using an example of a text. You may not hear from them, or you may not get the response you want. Now, in either way, we can assume this and revise this. And we can also learn that that's where our blocks still are, where we're still holding negative energy. So if we get ignored, if we don't get a response from the person that we've sent a message to, we can assume they're just busy. Of course they're going to contact me. They love contacting me. They love talking to me. They know that I'm their favorite person. They know that they can't wait to contact me. They're literally just busy at the moment, and I'm going to hear from them any minute now. So you could kind of do a loop of that. You know, so you're basically assuming differently and you're revising differently. So that would be basically focused on your kind of mental diet. So, but within that, you also know that you have a limiting belief about them ignoring you. Of course they love talking to me. Of course I'm the one person they want to talk to every minute of the day. They're constantly talking to me. They're constantly calling me. They're constantly messaging me. Do you want to change the story? I've always been prioritized when it comes to messaging this particular person. I've always heard from them very, very quickly. They've always responded to my message, and they still respond to my messages really, really quickly. So we just want to revise that. So if you get, so that's just an example, if you've, being ignored and your mental diet is still needing some tweaks, you can use that as feedback of where your blocks still are. So whether or not you get the response that you want, you can actually just use it to your benefit, to your advantage, revise the situation, assume differently, and you're changing your mental diet at the same time because you're telling the new story. You didn't get ignored. They always contact you. So then we're just going to loop that in our minds. Same thing if you get a message from somebody that you didn't want, it's not exactly the response that you wanted. That's your feedback. That's your block. That's what you're expecting them to say. So if it wasn't, if it was, I don't want to be with you anymore, or I don't really want to hear from you ever again, you're revising, and you're going to assume differently. You're going to revise, your mental diet's going to change, and that's going to create the new assumption. So they love hearing from me. They love it when they get a message from me. In fact, every time I send them messages, they're constantly telling me how much I make them laugh. They constantly want to hear from me every minute of the day. They love responding to my messages. In fact, they love sending me messages just as much as I love sending them messages. They love nothing more than every single day to hear from me. They absolutely love it. So we can start revising. I mean, that's just using a few different kind of affirmations and revision statements. So with inspired action, if you're doing it and you're coming from a place of fear and anxiety and rejection and lack, because we still need to work on building our mental diet, and you get those responses, use them as feedback. Use them to find out where your blocks are. Revise the story, change the mental diet, and your assumption will harden into fact the more you do that. So don't react, don't worry. Or if you do react, just react a little bit, but then get back on this. Just remember this video. If you are going to do inspired action, when you're feeling like it just feels really natural, it just feels like, yeah, of course I'm going to hear, again, use an example of a text. Of course I'm going to hear from them. Of course they want to hear from me. They're dying to hear from me. They can't wait for me to send this message. They love nothing more than hearing from me. If that is your attitude and you've had that and you just feel like, you know what? I just feel like I'm just going to send them a message. You feel absolutely neutral about the situation. There's no attachment to the outcome. You just feel absolutely neutral and you feel relaxed. You feel just like a knowing and a certainty that you're going to hear from them. That is when you will hear from them. When you get to that state, and it can take a bit of time to get to that state, depending on how much negative energy you've had about this person. But when you get to that state, and then you get that impulse to, yeah, I'm going to send a message. And you just get I'm just going to send a message. And you just do it. And it's like an automatic, like you're just saying hello to your mum or something on a message. That is when you'll get the response that you have been longing for. So short and sweet. I really hope that's helped. If you have any questions about inspired action, I've done it both ways. When I felt anxious, I found out my blocks. I've used it as feedback. And when I felt natural, and I've literally had message after message after message after message flowing from it. So comment below, let me know how you get on with that. Or if you've got any questions, again, comment below and I'll be happy to answer them. And that's it from me today. Take care, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.